confident these are in good shape. Not so much with the upper crankcase. Oh, that's heavy. On both sides of the block there's some unevenness and scoring, especially on there. It's perfectly clean but quite rough. Not so bad this side, but I've just got to work with what I've got. I'm starting to get together all the parts I need for the rebuild. There really are no prizes for guessing what's in this flat pack. And the time has finally come to start giving serious thought to all of the bits that I need if I can get into it. To start rebuilding this engine. Flipping it over, and what we should have is a complete gasket set. Getting a bit of a reflection off this, apologies for that. There are so many O-rings in there, I have no idea what they're all for. So I shall just have to find a suitable place for them as we go. The green paper gaskets are the clutch cover, the stator cover, and I'm not sure on the third one. Might even be, I think, sprocket cover. I seem to remember scraping gasket material off there. Not sure why you'd need one that's pretty much open, a bit strange. What is even stranger is that there are 3 rocker cover rubbers. No idea why. There were 3 in the picture and I thought that was just a image display issue. No clue. I've got 4 gaskets for the exhaust ports. I won't use them, I'll just use copper ones. You've of course got the 2 single ply cylinder head gaskets, and I think that's the neutral switch cover from memory. You've got all 16 valve stem seals. Big round one there, can't remember what that's for. And a few other little bits and bobs. Just up in my box here. Right, there you go, there's my copper ones at the ready. And also in there, I can't do this one-handed. I have got, that is gear shift oil seal, because I had to do a little repair on that lower case. So that's where the seal I just showed you sits, and the spline for your gear shift comes out through there. And so this is the replacement case that, if you've watched my previous videos, you've just seen me clean and repaint. It's the lower case, and the bolt that was in here was sheared off, so it was completely flush with the surface, and the only way I could get it out was to heat it with a torch, as in just a small propane torch, and just catch the edge with a drift and keep tappity tap tap until it wound its way out. But I damaged this seal in the process, so I've just bought a new one to go in. I'm not sure if one of these sort of larger rings here Really don't think so, but it might be. Is the O-ring for the sump? Probably not, because this one does look formed. So I might need to buy an O-ring splicing kit to do this. You're looking at probably 35 quid. You get a variety of different diameter lengths of I think it's probably nitrile material anyway, and you just cut it to length and super glue it into place. I think it's probably harder to do than it looks, so I've seen it done, but this one's no good. It's absolutely shot. That's not going to do a thing. If we flip this lower crankcase the other way, and actually pop it on the other bench. The lower crankcase that I replaced has also got its bearing left in there. Also very raunchy, not going to reuse that one either. Sticking with the lower crankcase, the main journals of the crankshaft don't have the shell bearings in, and on the old case that this replaces I do have those. So as I've got a matching pair in the old upper and lower cases that go with the old crankshaft, I have a mind to dig them out and replace them in the correct positions. So let's swap this out. For the upper case, yeah, I'll flip it over and show you, but this is the end of the selector drum. So the neutral switch mechanism goes in there, and that was the gasket for the cover that I had. That little cutout there is just for the grommet for the wiring to come through. There you can just get a better view of it there, and I'll flip it over in a minute to be able to see more clearly. Just coming over the top in the V, this is where the water crossover pipe sits, and so that doesn't have a gasket as such. It is an O-ring that sits in the unions on the end of the pipe, and again I don't think they're going to be viable now. They look so flattened off, so not sure that I could see those as replacements in that set. They might be buried in there, but I don't think so. So again, I might just need to buy an O-ring splicing kit and make one up. We were just looking at the end of the selector drum there, which just serves to drive the switch for the neutral light, and that's where the selector drum sits, and here would be the input shaft. And if we just look at the crank main journals, you can see that we have actually got the shell bearings in there, so I can just take those out and discard them. And again, the original upper case that I've got still contains the shell bearings that marry up to the crank, and I'll probably reuse them. There are just a couple of little screws that I need to rob away from the original case to drop back down into there, which I think were just hangers for the upper radiator, but looking over this I can't see that there's anything else that I need to sort of pull off of this to replace. This doesn't contain any kind of bearings or anything like that need to be pulled out and renewed, so we're pretty good to go with this. So I think I just need to get an O-ring splicing kit, a bearing for the end of the output shaft, and that's it for the cases. As far as the cylinder heads are concerned, I think we're good to go. There's nothing on these that I can see that I need to pull off and renew. Because of course they've been fully stripped, cleaned, painted. I've gone over the surfaces with a sanding block. I've lapped the valve seats with the valves in place. Probably just going to use what we call a cotton bud to poke through the guides with a little acetones to make sure they're absolutely clean, but there's nothing in any port anywhere, jacket, inlet, that requires anything new to be put in. So I think they're pretty good. I've even cleaned up all of the mating surfaces on everything we looked at with acetone, because they all got a little sticky with the masking tape. I missed this bit, I need to do that. Bit of tape there. I'm going to have to go through all of the videos that I made, watch them back to make sure that I've not pulled out any little O-rings from any of the little orifices and just forgotten what I've taken away. I can look at diagrams, schematics, things like that, but so easy to get it wrong. And do you know something I've never understood? Is why do you not have plain shell bearings in camshaft seats, journals I should say, like you do with crankshafts? Well, that's most motorcycle camshaft journals, not just the VF750F and its notoriously poor running gear. I don't understand it. That's just a question for engineers anyway.